Hello Februrary, I can't wait to explore this TARDIS today, as I've been waiting for it for literal years now. And it's of course the 13th Doctor's TARDIS extension. The interior of this is the best interior I think I've ever seen, but before we look at that, let's talk about the exterior. Now that I'm dressed more appropriately and kind of look like I'm about to have a stroke, let's start. There's 5 variants of this TARDIS: Series 11, Series 12, Series 13, Flux, and the Masters as seen in Power of the Doctor. So other than this Masters TARDIS, the exteriors for Series 11, 12, 13 and Flux are all the same in game. And I'm pretty sure they're basically the same in the show as well, although I might be wrong. One of the creators of this, Jodie Whittaker TARDIS, also made this Type 35 TARDIS, which I reviewed in my previous video. And that TARDIS has a Jodie exterior, so I'm going to be comparing this Jodie exterior to this proper 13th Doctor TARDIS exterior and see what has been improved and what's been changed, because I'm pretty sure it was the base model of it. So this is the Type 35 exterior and this is the Jodie exterior, and straight off the bat you can see there's so much more detail and texture in this one. This one just kind of looks like just a blue kind of with a wood texture, but it's a bit blurry. This one's a lot more like detailed, high definition. This text is the right color on the new version. I don't know why he made it black on the old one. It was never black in the show, I don't think. It might have been black in Series 11 actually. I can't remember that in the Ghost Monument. I don't know. I might be wrong again. There's actually multiple textures for the windows on both of these, and I tried to find one that is kind of similar on both of them, and this is what I found. On the main extension, it has 3 different exterior skins. This is skin 1 with these yellowy white windows, and skin 2 is a very subtle difference. It's whiter, but only by a little bit, because that is different in the show. I don't remember that. And then there's this deep yellow, which I think is in Power of the Doctor. The dimensions of these TARDISes are different. The height of the Type 35 exterior is smaller than the new one. The new one is more accurate dimensions-wise, as far as I can tell at least. Now, the Master's TARDIS is dramatically different. It has this like kind of cold texture, and the handle and the lock are all black. And obviously it says ha 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 from the Power of the Doctor. I'm pretty sure the exterior is quite similar to this colour-wise in the Power of the Doctor. This does seem quite accurate to the show from what I can remember. This one has 4 skins as an extra skin, which has these multi-colours from the Power of the Doctor when the rah rah Rasputin scene was going on.
Been carrying this around with me since you gave it to me.
I absolutely love this exterior in general. I did a poll recently on my community tab about New Who exteriors, and this got 2nd to last or 3rd out of 4th. But to be honest, this is probably my favourite TARDIS exterior ever. It's definitely my favourite New Who one. I love the colouring and everything, and I love the windows. So that's enough about the exterior. Let's move on to the interior, which I absolutely love in this game. I'm not a great fan of it in the show, but it's realised very well in the game, so let's have a look. No matter how much I dislike this TARDIS's interior in Doctor Who, and I'm not alone in that by the way, I did a poll and it was last by quite a lot. Even because of that, I will always love the feeling of being able to fly the, for now, current Doctor's TARDIS. Let's start with the Series 11 TARDIS, and then make our way up to the Master's TARDIS. Also ignore the lightning symbol in the top left corner. A base TARDIS add-on update was just released. I'll talk about that in my next video more than likely. I know I keep repeating this, but this specific version of every Jodie TARDIS, the Series 11 one, is my least favourite because it feels very empty and things. But this isn't about the one in the show, this is about the one in the add-on. So there's many things that are the same in each of these TARDISes, so I'll talk about them quickly now. First of all, there's this table, which has been seen in multiple Jodie episodes, and it can be activated by pressing E on it or using a sonic, and I'm pretty sure it's been shown in every series of Jodie's. There's so many small details like this in these TARDISes, which is why I like it so much. And please remember, this is a work in progress version, so the lighting and everything isn't final, so comment any inaccuracies you notice, as the creators will probably be watching this video, hopefully at least. Speaking of the lighting, can I just say how much I love these little sunbeams and things? I think in the final version they're going to use the new lamps. I won't go over that because it's a bit complicated, but it just creates a good lighting atmosphere. So talking about the console, it's a bit bare in this Series 11 version, but something that's in every single one of the TARDISes are these blue stabilizers, which I don't think have been mentioned in Jodie's era, but what they do, they just activate these lights, which look quite cool to be fair. There's also this scanner and some other screens you can turn on, which I'll show in the next variant. In this Series 11 version, these crab arms, these top bits move up and down with the rotor when you materialise and dematerialise and things. So let me show you that now. I'll just take off. To be honest, I don't really like them that much. Not like in the add-on, just like in the show. I kind of hate them. But at least they actually did something in Series 11. I've got to say how much I love these Gallifreyan symbols. I love them in this show as well, to be fair. I love how these pulse, they flash when you're flying. I love it. Alright, what we got to do now is materialize again. Here we go. Okay, now let's talk about this Series 12 variant, because I love this one, and it's very different from the Series 11 one. Immediately, it's obvious that this version is a lot more vibrant than the Series 11 one, and in my opinion, just generally better. It still has this table, and the blue stabilizers and things. So this is actually a scanner, so if I turn this on, it shows, I think it's the view from just outside the door. There's also these hologram-styled screens, which have, you know, the manual control and things like that. I love the look of this hologram thing. I'm not sure if the rounders are meant to do that, like clip through it, but I think it looks good as a hologram. The console feels more TARDIS-y, if that makes sense, which it really doesn't, but it's like more full, and you can like run around and click things, and it's just much more of a TARDIS. Most of the extra buttons and controls of things are just manual flight control or destination select. There's about 7 things that do manual flight, but it looks good. Also, the crab arms are just static now. As I said in the Series 11 one, none of the other ones actually have the crab arms moving, so. And a really cool system I somehow forgot to show earlier is the colour control, which changes the colour of almost everything inside the TARDIS. Look, I'll show you. So there's 6 different colours. There's this orangey yellow one, which is the default. There's this red, which I actually really love. This pinky purple, this green, this grey white colour, and this blue from Spyfall. Or if you don't want to change the entire room colour, you can change individual things like the crab arms. They all have these 6 different colours as skins. So I'll just select colour 2, which is purple. The crab arms, the rotor, the console, even the roundels can change colour, as well as this screen. Basically everything that has this yellowy orangey colour can be individually changed to any of these 6 skins. It's similar to the wooden TARDIS's feature, which I showed in my last video, because the creator of that helped make this one as well, so I guess that makes sense. There's also these steps now, which run the show in Series 12 to 13. They don't go anywhere. I don't think they ever did in the show either. They're kind of useless, but they're here as well now. Also, something I forgot to mention about this exterior is how when you view it from different angles, the colour of the windows change, because they have this kind of slanted vertical pattern thing. So if we change the skin, you can really see the difference in multiple colours. I love it. There's also this D-shaped hook thing, which I also like. And also because there's this like inside police box thing on the interior. If you no-clip into the outside, it's just got the police box exterior, which I quite like. So let's move on to the Series 13 variant, because that one has quite a few changes as well. So altogether, the Series 13 TARDIS is very similar to the Series 12 one. The main difference are these panels on 3 of the crab arms. There's a few buttons and things on them, which can move, but they don't actually do anything, they're just for aesthetic. But there's this lever that if you use, it'll turn on these blue lights. And also make that noise. Kind of like how the blue stabilizers light up these lights on the console. All of these levers do it. I think they look quite nice, to be fair. It wraps around the thing and goes inside there. And if I put the blue stabilizers on with them, I think it creates a nice consistency around the console area. There's also been a few more controls added to the console, like this ball and some other random things. But other than those small things, there's not much difference between this one and the Series 12 one. Before we look at the Flux TARDIS, I just want to show you what these TARDISes look like with the power off, because they actually look really cool. Let me show you. Okay, power off. It creates this really cool atmosphere where it kind of looks like a cave with all these like splodges of light. I don't know how to describe it. Probably not splodges, but you know what I mean. They kind of look like sunbeams coming out of like, well, nowhere really. And I like the look of the console with the power off, and then put the flashlight on, and it looks even cooler in my opinion. But let's just power it back on. But enough about this one, let's move on to the Flux one, which is arguably the coolest one, apart from the Master's TARDIS, I guess. So this one's probably my favourite one, just because of how different it is compared to all the other ones. There's a lot to talk about here, including the multiple exits and entrances and things, but I'll talk about them in a minute. First, I want to talk about these things sticking out the walls and the floors. So if you never watched Flux in Series 13, which I don't blame you for, if I'm honest, it's kind of bad, there was this big stormy looking thing destroying the universe, which made the TARDIS all gooey and destroyed, and if you want to know more, just watch Series 13. Anyway, these things sticking out the floors and the walls actually have the 6 skins that everything else do. The ones like these that have the roundels on the end, when you change its skin, it just changes the roundel on the end's colour, like these ones. As you can see, they turn to the same colour. That's basically what it is. And if this one on the floor where the table would be, if you just change the skin, it will change the colour of it, like the crab arms. There's also these cobwebs and gooey stuff everywhere, which is from the show, obviously. I didn't actually expect all this gooey stuff to be in here. That just shows the amount of detail put into this. Also, something I literally just noticed like 5 minutes ago is that the ends of
two of these crab arms are actually missing. I assume that was like it in the show, I just never noticed it. But I like how they look. And overall, it's quite dark in here, which helps to create this destroyed feeling that it does in the show and in the add-on. So when I came in the entrance, it was all normal. I just came in, walked in like it was normal. But that's because I haven't actually enabled this feature yet. Although enabling this feature might be a bug, it might just be enabled already. I do have a work in progress version. Apparently these portals can be a bit buggy. So if I open these doors at the back, you'll see the front doors over here through it. So say I open these doors over here, they'll actually be opened over here as well. So if we walk through them, you'll see we actually get teleported to this door as an exit. And then if we walk back in again, we go onto this interior one, which I find really cool and also a bit weird when you first see it. The whole entrance exit thing was not at all necessary. I thought they were just going to have the exteriors shown as like decoration. But the fact they actually used them as intended is really, really cool. You can even change the skin on them, same as the exterior skins. It has these different lights and then that yellowy one. The ones over here can also do that. Anyway, let's move on to the Master's TARDIS before my brain hurts with confusion. God, I love these windows. Obviously, the colouring here is a lot different than the other ones because it was these colours in the show. But you can change all these things individually to different colours or just use the colour control feature to change them all at once. But I'm going to keep them as this because, well, I like it and also because it's like this in the show. But before I talk about any other changes, I want to mention this ringing noise you can hear. That's the cloister bell, which has been mentioned throughout Doctor Who's history, and it starts to ring when there's danger or the TARDIS has been damaged, basically. The reason that it's ringing now is because when we saw this in the Power of the Doctor, all its energy was being depleted into the planet, causing this to ring. As we only see the TARDIS during this state in the episode, I think it's right to put the cloister bell in the add-on too. But with that said, I'm going to make the noise a little bit quieter because it's kind of annoying. First of all, there's this new rotor here. Because this is a Type 35 TARDIS, which the Doctor said in the Power of the Doctor, and everything's just a little bit different because it's actually not the same type of TARDIS as the Doctor. I'm not sure if we ever got to see above the actual rotor in the episode, but there's this ceiling crystal up here which does seem a bit odd compared to this new rotor, but it does make sense seeing the crab arms and things are still here, so it still has this crystal effect, but I just find it looking a bit weird. Might just be me though. And can I just say how much I love the look of this ball in the rotor when the power is off? It has this nice reflection from all the lights and all different angles and things. I love the look of this, it's really well done. Thanks to everyone who helped create this TARDIS, and especially George for giving me this extension early. This is possibly my biggest video yet, so a like would be very appreciated because this took me ages to make. And watch this video on screen to see me review the Ruth Doctor's TARDIS and the Twice Upon a Time First Doctor TARDIS with the creator. It was really cool.